Hey class, today we're going to be working on texture. We're going to be using paintbrushes of different varieties and widths and whatnot. We want to use one or two, and you can see they're all kind of different bristles. Some are tougher. This would be hog hair. Some of them are synthetic brushes. Others are a little bit shorter, and so they all serve a different purpose. But today we're going to use them to apply the binder or the paint as a binder. So you're going to use white paint, and when you use your little plate, just use enough to get through the project. You don't need a ton of paint for this. So you're going to also take some cotton. Okay, and cotton is very flexible. It allows us to do so many different things with it. You're going to take a small chunk of cotton, and you're going to manipulate this with your hands to do different things. For example, you can stretch and twist the fibers of the cotton to create like a string. As it starts to tear a little bit, you twist it along, and that gives you a sort of string-like kind of texture, right? You may also have just a little ball of clay, turning it in your hand into a little ball of clay. You may also take it and create little spikes, for example. Create a bunch of these little spike kind of deals. You can also leave it just in its natural form. You can wet it completely and dip it into the paint and see what kind of results that gives you. And you're going to explore what the different textures are and how you can manipulate this material to create a really interesting set of textures. So yesterday you started your grid, and today you're going to create 6 different textures, and 3 of these squares are going to be drawn. Okay, and today is a test. It's a sort of a test to see how well the group is going to be cleaning up, for example, if you're going to be following instructions and taking care of your area, right? So before you get to your desk and start painting and using the materials, you want to take yourself a little piece of paper, like a little tray piece of paper, and we're going to use the composition paper over here to set like a little working space. Okay, then you're going to make sure you have a little bit of paint in a plate like this, and at the end of the day when we clean up these, you're going to use the sink over there. There are brushes in the sink. You're going to brush them and clean them up. Okay, make sure that they are dry and that you bring them up. It's really important that we maintain our working space, that we leave room for other people to take care of their work, and that we share the materials. Right? This is a working space, and when we're finished at the end of the class, we want to make sure that this place is in better condition than what we found it in. Okay, so the goal is to finish 6 real textures and 3 drawn textures on our grid. You cannot continue unless your grid is drawn correctly, and I've signed off on it. You cannot reach out for the materials until you have drawn 3 of your textures, and at the end on Friday we'll be collecting these. I'm going to set up a blue rack and a white rack over here by the white board, and those racks are going to be where you put your work as it's still wet and we let it dry there. You want to make sure that your class period and your name is on those artworks, because everyone's is going to look the same, so you want to make sure that your name and class period is on that. Have fun.